Hello and welcome back to Spare Time Gardening with me, Simon. And as usual, I'm in the compass in our Hampshire garden. Well, it's a lovely spring day here in Hampshire and I'm kicking things off by sowing some seeds. Sunflowers, that is, to bring that bold summer cheer, and some cucumbers, which we're trying outdoors this year, so I'm hoping they'll be even better this time around. And while I'm out here, I'll also give you a bit of a tour of what's happening around the garden. The tree lilies are coming along nicely, the clematis is starting to bud up nicely, and it'll not be long before we see those wonderful flowers. And I've been prepping the borders, getting everything ready for that explosion of summer colour we all can look forward to. And as part of the update, I'm going to have a look at the plug plants that we potted on recently. Some are settling in really well, some have rocketed away, but some have died off. But that's gardening, I guess. And speaking of plans, we've also been toying with the idea of creating a self-contained water feature. So nothing too big, just something simple and peaceful to add a bit of gentle sound and movement. So we've got the parts, we've got a pot, we've got a dish, we've got a fountain or a pump. So we'll show you how it goes in another video. But if you've ever made one or you have any ideas, I'd love to hear about them in the comments, so feel free to leave them below. So let's sow some seeds, wander through the garden, check on what's growing, and start dreaming up a few new projects for the season ahead. And as always, enjoy. So today we're going to be sowing some sunflowers, and we're going to start the sowing of our cucumbers. So this one is Market More, indoor and outdoor. It's a reliable trailing variety, so we're going to try it outdoor this year because we didn't have much success last year in the greenhouse, down in our Hampshire garden that is. I had loads of success in our northern garden, but that's a proper greenhouse. And we're going to sow some of these sunflowers, which is Titan, and see how big we can get them this year. So let's have a, I'm just going to sow them in pots. I'm going to do cucumbers separately. I'm going to sow 4 of them. So we've got 4 little pots for the cucumbers, and I'm going to sow 2 sunflowers, 1 in each pot, and a spare one here that I'm going to sow for the little one to sow and watch it grow in a bedroom. So we'll fill them up with compost, shall we? I'm just using a multi-purpose compost, an organic compost that is. So I'll just fill the pots up first. If you fill your pots up whilst it's in the bag, at least any that fall out the side goes back in the bag. So that's what I'm doing. And because this one's organic, it's got a lot of organic material in, which will be perfect for growth before we plant them out. But the one I'm going to sow to grow in the house, I'll use a slightly different multi-purpose because this one's got a bit of an odour to it. That'll be perfect for the one in the house. And as always, just make a hole. So first a cucumber. So these are the tiny seeds. Just I'm going to sow one per pot. Sometimes people sow a couple per pot, and then you just discard the weaker one. I'm just going to go with the one per pot this year. Generally have quite good success. I'm sure you're familiar with the sunflower seed, but those are the sunflower seeds. Again, just one per pot. And I'll save one to sow in the house. Just makes it a little bit interesting for the little ones to get used to growing, watching plants grow. And sunflowers grow quite fast as well, so they don't get bored as easily. And there you have it. Cucumbers and sunflowers sown, just with a drop of water, and then we'll keep an eye on them. So a quick update in the plant situation. So we've got our plug plant begonias. Now, I've lost a few of these. I had to leave them for a week whilst I was away, and they've got really damp and I've lost quite a few. The other ones seem quite healthy. I just need to keep an eye on the ones that we've lost, but still not looking too bad. The 72 annual garden plug plants are looking wonderful. No losses there. And I've got another tray over here which is a mixture of the begonias. Again, you'll see I've lost a couple. Some are coming back, I think, so we'll leave them in. But the other ones are looking all right. The begonia tubers, see, these are starting to sprout now. So once they start getting their leaves, we can put those into the garden. In these pots, these are our own saved seed of dahlias, but a bit of a disaster really. These were sowed on the 16th of March, you can see on the label. And nothing, absolutely nothing in that, so I don't know whether to sow some more. And the same here, sown at the same time, out of a tray of 12, one, which is really surprising. Same conditions, but 1 out of 24 dahlia seeds is unusual, I think. So I might have to sow some more. Let us know if you've had similar disasters with your seeds. Let's have a look at the tomatoes. They're looking well, potted on and putting on growth now. And the one that I broke the roots off, doing brilliantly. So as predicted, tomatoes are really good at rooting. They're doing really well. And there's another one over here. But yeah, happy with the tomatoes, looking well. We've got crocosmia. I transplanted these but seem to have lost them whilst I was transplanting, so I've planted a few more seeds directly sown, so hopefully those will grow soon, and again we can put those into the garden. So plug plants, similar. I mean, these annuals are looking great, but the begonias, a mixed review. I've lost a few, but I think we might be all right, enough to make a couple of baskets anyway. And these annuals are looking reasonably healthy. So all good. Quick update in the garden then. So outside in the Hampshire garden, so these are the tree lilies. This one's honeymoon, probably the most virile version, the one that's put most growth on. Got one in here which is misfire, and lastly is Anastasia. This one's probably the slower of the varieties to get going, but looking good. Not sure how tall they'll get, we'll see. We also bought a hosta, and it was one plant, but what we've done is we've split it, so cut it in half, and we've got one there and one down here. So there you go, buy one plant and get two. That's what it's all about. And a bit of an update on the clematis montana. Look at all the buds on this one. Can't wait for the flowers to open. As I said, we were away last week and I half expected coming back and missing the flowers, but luckily, even though the weather's been beautiful, I mean, I think this one's probably the one to burst into flower, but I'm sure at some point this week those are going to flower and it's going to look beautiful. So yeah, the delphinium is coming back. We've had to put some slug pellets around, so apologies for anyone that prefers an organic garden, but they have almost devastated and massacred this plant, so hopefully that'll stop them from eating it. Pleased to say the fuchsia's coming back, bursting back into life, and we've got the table out. But the plan is get the theatre of plants around in the garden, and I'll show you in a second, once we've had a look at the front, a little water feature that we're going to build. So let's just take you onto the front. So a quick update on the sideboard. I don't know if you can hear me, it is a bit windy, but we've dug all the tulips, daffodils and primulas out. It's been prepared with some topsoil and some farmyard manure, ready for the planting season. And if we look at the front, again we've done the same. So I dug out the tulips and daffodils from the planters, prepared with some topsoil and with some farmyard manure to add some growth. And those are ready for the dahlias and the cosmea, and we're going to put spider plants around it, so keep watching, see what that looks like. And quickly just have a look at this flower border. So we've got a couple of flowers already taking shape, looking lovely. So as I mentioned, we're going to make a water feature this year for the corner. So what we've got is a plastic pot, no holes in the bottom, something to look a bit decorative. We've ordered a solar powered pump that's going to go in there. Then we wanted a metal grid and put some pebbles on it. But what we found was this. It's a garden sieve. Both of these were bought from the range, but that sits perfectly, if I can do it with two hands, that sits perfectly inside there. We'll put a hole in the middle for the fountain, put the pebbles on there, and then you've got your own little water feature. So once we get the pebbles and the pump and we put it together, keep tuned, and we'll show you hopefully how that turns out and it's successful. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button, and please feel free to leave your comments and feedback below. I'd love to hear from you, so don't be shy, and of course I'll reply. See you soon.